So I feel like I'm in the majority of people that say that the Lion King remake is a terrible, quick cash grab movie. So while everyone else is giving their opinion on the movie, on how it could have been good, I decided that I wanted to throw my hat into the ring on and give my thoughts on how the Lion King remake could have been a good movie. So first things first is that I'm going to discuss on what Jon Favreau actually wanted. So Jon Favreau wanted the movie to be kind of like a documentary, as what he said. However, if you watch the movie, you can understand that it really isn't like a documentary at all, mainly because animals don't talk. I'm gonna get to that point later, but there's that point. So, secondly, I'm gonna talk about the acting, or more specifically about the actors. So, I know that YMS did a very great job explaining about this in his streams and everything, but to me the acting seems like a little off, especially with like Mufasa, because James is like really old. He's like 90 years old, so like I already said these lines. And like there was this one point when Rafiki did something stupid. It was like when he figured out that Simba was still alive, and he went like Simba or something like that. It was scary. It was weird. It just doesn't feel right. That was my best representation of that. So what I feel like Disney should have done was not to hire these people with these big names like Seth Rogen and Beyonce, because if you watch any kind of coverage or anything, you will learn that like Beyonce was like their main selling point about this movie, and it was like, and she wasn't even that good. She's not an actor. Beyonce is not an actress or anything. She's a singer, and her Spirit song actually is pretty good, but she's not an actor. So the animation itself, at first glance, can look really, really good. In fact, when I was first watching the Lion King remake, when I saw it in theaters, I thought, oh man, some of those shots look really real and everything. But if you take a look at it again with a closer eye, you will learn that like a lot of things just don't make any sense. Like the lighting is super weird, and like the lions have like a hard outline. It's like there's no backlight, and it's like 2D animation when the animators would like do hard outlines to make the people stick out more. But with the lions here, it just looks like they were green screened on. It doesn't look right. Basically, what animation, and here's a problem with making it look real, is that animation should be whatever we think is not real. What I mean by that is, like, let's take a perfect example of this is Beauty and the Beast. We know that like candelabras or shelves or teapots can't talk. In animation, we already know it's not real, so we can just have a good time. And like it's real in this universe's it's just real in that universe that candelabras and magic and stuff can talk. But when it's real, when it looks as real as it can be, you get this uncanny valley. Because, like, we see these lions, we think, they want us to think that they're real, but it's uncanny because they're talking, and and lions just don't talk, and it's weird. Alright, so now I get to talk about characters for a little bit. So the main problem I had when I was watching The Lion King first, not the original, the remake, is that I couldn't tell the difference between some characters. I literally got Scar and Mufasa mixed up half the time. I couldn't even tell the difference between Simba and Nala. They look so similar. And that goes with animation, kind of. Like, that's the problem with making everything look too real, is the fact that, like, things that we don't know are different will look almost exactly the same. Like, I don't know an example of this, but everything just almost looks exactly the same, again, with Nala and Simba when they were young. There was no emotion in the characters whatsoever. This goes back to the acting, but literally, like, that cliff scene almost made me laughing on how bad it was. Like, literally, like, when I was reviewing some scenes and I went back to that cliff scene, it was so weird because it was like, first off, Scar just doesn't. I'm gonna get to Scar in a little bit. Scar is like, there's like no emotion in Mufasa or Scar, but don't even get me started on Simba. Oh my goodness, that no. So in the original, that no felt so real. It felt like they actually, like this kid actually felt like he actually saw his father falling off a cliff or something. When in the remake, they couldn't even get the kid to yell. He's like shy or something. They couldn't get him to yell or something. So what I think they did was like they increased his voice and then higher pitched it. So, but literally it sounded like as though it was like a cat meow. Literally, like it sounded like or something like that. Like I mean, I'm not gonna try to do it loud or anything, but like, it didn't sound right. I almost bursted out laughing because of how bad that line delivery was given. And a lot of characters are so different from how they were before. So I'm gonna mainly get into Scar, but Scar is just your run-of-the-mill villain now. I'm sure you heard that a lot, but he's just your run-of-the-mill villain. The reason why I liked the Scar in the original was that he was manipulative. He was able to make Simba, like, actually like him, like, genuinely like him. And, like, people trusted him and stuff still a little bit. But in the remake, YMS did this in one of his streams, but like, why would anyone trust Scar with Simba? Because Scar just sounds like he's just mad all the time. He doesn't sound like he doesn't sound like he's trying to be nice to his nephew. He just sounds like he's just trying to kill him. If I had a scene, I would have picked all these scenes. He's just so different from the original that I can't really handle it. The fact that this is even a section that I can even talk about is just amazing. Color. The fact that okay. So the remake's colors are just like super dull. Like, if you take a look at this image, it doesn't look right. It doesn't, like, it's so dull. There's, when I was watching in the theaters for the first time, I wasn't really that invested because the landscapes just look so boring and everything. And that's not the problem with the original. The original had meaningful colors, like the lime green smoke coming out when Scar was doing Be Prepared was like purposeful to make you feel a little sick and uneasy and everything. When comparing to like darker green of the forest was supposed to make you feel a little carefree and make you feel carefree and happy because you're also seeing Simba happy. He's different, but when you look at the remake, it's just, it kind of looks, all of them look almost exactly the same. Let's talk about some songs. Let me start with the good. The original songs were amazing, and they were purposeful, and they segued excellently, I meant. So it never felt like a song came out of nowhere. Unlike, in my opinion, in Frozen 2, actually, like, one of the songs came out of nowhere, and I was a little thrown off, but whenever I was watching the original Lion King, I was never thrown off. They have always segued into it, like, perfectly. Everything about it, the music, everything was great. Then we get to the remake. The remake has so many things wrong with it, with the soundtrack, that I would legit need to make another video just covering the remake song. Literally, my entire script here has been all bullet points. But I don't just hit the computer screen. But seriously, like, there's so many things wrong with it that I would not, if I was able to make it into all bullet points, literally, I would have just had to make another video with how long the script would be. There's so many things wrong with it. Done with. So I went through this entire review bashing the Lion King remake when I didn't even give out what I would have done with the remake. So now time to talk about what I would have done with it. So what I would have done with the Lion King remake is that I would have actually gone all the way with the documentary idea. So basically what I mean by that would be there would be no voice acting, first of all. Just concentrating on the emotion of the lions and how they would actually react, like with their ears and their tails and their body language and everything. I would probably try to work on the animation a little bit better so the environment can blend in better with everything, because again, it just looks like the lions were green screened onto there. And I would actually make the camera shots look like an actual documentary, because no matter what you say, the camera angles are just like shot-to-shot remake of whatever the Lion King was before. But I would work on trying to make it look like it. Like, if you watch a documentary, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The songs would be more instrumental with music cues and everything. Like, it's like background music, but like if you can recognize it, then that's good for you. But it would be more like, but you could have it more like a karaoke kind of thing. Because like, everyone knows the songs hold and dear to them. So you can have it like a karaoke kind of thing if you were doing like the documentary thing. So that like people can bond together knowing all the songs and everything. That would have been pretty cool, I guess. Basically not what Tarzan did. I'm not going to get into what Tarzan did with the music, but I could probably do that in a separate video if I could. So if John went all the way with how I would have done everything, he would have been, The Lion King would have been more ambitious. It could have been better. And I feel like it would have gotten more praise for being so different from the original. Because the problem with these remakes is that you can just watch the original and get the same experience, except a better experience. This, if you did it like a documentary, you would have gotten such a different result. You would have gotten so many different results, and it would have been so different. See, that's what remakes are supposed to be. They're supposed to be the same, but different. Anyways, that's going to be all for today's video. If you guys liked it, then press that like and subscribe button. And comment down below what your thoughts are. Thank you, and see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!